Hello everybody, it's Denise from God's Third Acre. And Russell and I have been gone for about 10 days. We had to make an emergency trip back to Phoenix to see his mom who's in hospice. So please keep her in your prayers. Her name is Beth. But I wanted to show you what's been going on around the garden. It's been exploding. It is huge, to quote President Trump. So let's go take a look around. Yep, we're going to start here with the blackberries or raspberries. I don't know what they are because we didn't live here last year. But these vines have just really taken off while we were gone. And down here, you can see where it's bloomed. And we're going to have some berries coming on there. So that's exciting. Lots of things are exciting. Next to that, I've got my morning glories, which were maybe an inch tall when I left, and they grew this much in 10 days. Just amazing. So my strawberries here too have really gotten a lot bigger when we were gone, but some of them are still blooming, so I need to pinch off the blooms and pinch back any runners so they can put all that energy into producing roots. Over here in the chicken coop, we're down to 5 birds. We found out not only did we have Rocky the rooster, we had Black Betty, which became Black Bill the rooster. So we gave Betty to our neighbor who was checking in on the chickens while we were gone. So hopefully he will have a good life over there with the 6 chickens that they have, the 6 hens they have. And then Rocky's got these 4 hens to himself. Hi, Rocky! Rocky! Are you camera shy? You yelling through the hole? Okay, well, we're going to take a look here at this part of the garden. Here. There goes Rocky. I got him crowing. This row here this row has all cucumbers in it. And down at this end are just the munching variety, like you'd use on salads or slice up. And then this end down here are the ones for pickling. They didn't germinate quite as well. They might have been older seeds. I don't know. I've got to look at what I planted. But these only had the first 2 little leaves on them. So they've grown quite a bit while we were gone. I'm just amazed at how much the plants grew in just 10 days. And over here in the front, I've got borage. My sage has taken off. We've got some cabbages that are heading up here. I've got a broccoli that went to seed. And I've got a couple of other broccoli plants here too that are hopefully going to make some heads. Rocky's wanting to interrupt me today. And my dill is all going to seed, which is wonderful. That's what I want for my dill pickles. Now if my cucumbers can just catch up to the dill pickles, or if my cucumbers can catch up to the dill, that would be great. And over here I've got just plain old green beans. You could see space between them when I left, but now it's just filling up my square foot garden here. But they're starting to bloom. And I wanted to show you this. We ordered some little praying mantis cocoons, or whatever they're called, their nests, that we put out here. I can't tell yet if they've hatched or not. But we put 2 of them out here, but that's one of them that we put. The other one I put over with my potato plants. Here's another bed with, these are the dragon's tongue beans, and they're filling out very nicely. It's kind of odd, some of them are a lighter green and some are a darker green. I don't know if that's just a difference in the soil or why that is. And then next to them, I've got some nasturtiums that are coming up. I love the variegation on the leaves. It's so pretty. And I've got my marigold, and I've got some oregano in this bed. We come over here, I've got lettuce, and look, I've got baby peas. Actually, they're not so baby. The peas are growing. There weren't any peas on when we left. It was just blossoms, but there's actually peas on them now. I've got a couple of different varieties, but they got kind of mixed up a little bit because I had to replant. But all of them have peas on it. And I've got some kale here in front. I've got carrots. Some migrated over to this side of the fence. But carrots are growing up over there. My onions are looking pretty good, getting bigger. None of the onions are starting to go to seed yet, so that's good. My potatoes are blooming. Did you know potatoes would produce a fruit from the blossoms? I didn't know that, but Russell found it last night. That's a little fruit on the potato plant. I think he said you can eat it, but I gotta look that up. Now, my cabbages are not doing too good. They are heading up and everything. These heads don't look too bad. But if you look right here, there's just a stump of a cabbage because I caught my dog eating the cabbage last night. So the little rat dog likes cabbage. Here's the broccoli that's just taken off. I can see some here that's gone to seed. It was just a little bit, small plant. The broccoli's looking good. Over in this bed I've got peppers. I've got some calendula in the middle. My cilantro went to seed. So that produces coriander, if I remember correctly. I got more pepper plants over here. The ones that I topped are not really doing that well. So I don't think I'm going to be a fan of topping my pepper plants. This one, though, does have some little peppers coming up on it. So we'll have to see what they produce. I really need to remember to look in the viewfinder so that I get this centered. I keep forgetting. I've got some different types of lettuces down the center. A friend of mine gave them to me, and they have gone to seed. So I've got to pull them, and we've got French breakfast radishes. So all these are going to get pulled today, and I'm going to roast them tonight. I've never tried it roasted before. I'll just leave that one there and come back for it. Got more peppers over here. More cilantro, which is turning into coriander, I guess. And more borage. And then finally, all my tomato plants. And I see some blooms starting to come on the tomato plants. Yay! But I need to come out here. I've got about, I think 20 or so tomato plants. I had more, but the birds clipped some of them off. My Vegas garden with all the mylar blowing around. But I'm getting some nice blooms on these plants. Russell's out doing some weeding around the cantaloupe that we have planted out there. So that's pretty much the garden. It's just amazing to see how much it grows when you're away for just a short amount of time. What seems like a short amount of time, 10 days. You can see some blooms coming on the green beans. There's some blooms on my tomato plants. I think this is Alopalka. And then my mortgage lifters are in the next row, I believe. I guess we'll find out soon enough when they start producing fruit. I wanted to take a look here too at the zucchini. It has, whoops, see if I can get to it. It's got some blossoms down in there and some weeds. But it just really took off too. It only had maybe 4 leaves on it when we left. And now it's turning into the huge bush that zucchini turns into. Oh, froggy. Oh, we had a little visitor, a little frog. But Russell has rigged up this system that we're using to water some of our garden. So we've got a bucket under this. This drain actually drains out of our sump pump in the basement, and it was just draining out to the ground. So we put a bucket under it, and he hooked up a hose, and the hose runs out to the garden so that it waters. But we can use it to water the tomatoes in and everything else. Overall, the garden's looking good.